Wednesday night in Paris, a day that has seen the sun shine down on the clay courts of Roland Garros, with more spectators welcomed back and a semi-final lineup to complete. Welcome to Live at Roland Garros, your nightly dose of what's been going on, and here for you is what we have for you on tonight's show. It was a day of mixed emotions for the defending champions. Barbora Krejcikova and Maria Sakkari meet in their first Grand Slam semi-final. And fans make their debut as Djokovic and Berrettini battle it out under the lights. It's great to have you with us once again. You can find us, as you'll know by now, across the Roland Garros social media channels. And I'm very happy to say that looking back on events today with me is Daniela Hantuchova. Danny, lovely once again. Apart from being hot, how else are you feeling about today? Because for me, it's been, I don't know if people at home can hear the music, it's been the people, it's been the music, it's been the feeling. It's been exciting, and it's actually also nice that I can almost hear you because of all the music, all the crowds wandering around. And, you know, I feel like we are back to normal. I mean, this is what we've missed for so long, and just looking around the grounds and how much people are enjoying it. It's been a wonderful weather so far in the tournament as well, and I don't remember, you know, the weather being like this ever, you know, so solid, and plus having the crowds. It looks so good. You know, only 5,000, but it looked like the stadium was completely full. I really noticed it when I was trying to get from one side of the site to the other, and suddenly there were all these people. And normally you get a little bit frustrated, so many people, but today it was really nice to have everyone here. Totally. I mean, as a player, when I was looking around like this, you would be thinking, oh, how do I get to the practice side, you know, through all those the crowds. And today it's like, I just want to hug everyone and welcome. Like, finally, we are all here together. So I think it's a very special moment for our game. And I think a day that we will not forget so quickly. It's a really lovely day. The temperatures are getting hotter. The tennis has been fantastic, and keeping an eye on things for us. He was keeping an eye on the earlier action, and now he's waiting for the evening session to begin, is Eli. How are you, Eli?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm just really happy to be somewhere full of people. It's been a great day. We would be courtside, but all the tennis for the moment is over, and we wanted to show you guys what's going on, all the people. Just remind everybody that today is an important day because stadium capacity, venue capacity changed from 5,000 to approximately 13,000. And of course, what does that mean? It means that 5,000 people were allowed into court Philippe Chatrier earlier today to support Rafa and everybody else who was on court one after the other. And especially tonight, under the lights, night session, Novak Djokovic and Matteo Berrettini will play in front of 5,000 fans for almost a normal night session at a Grand Slam. So that's very exciting. That'll happen at 8 p.m. as opposed to 9 p.m. And yeah, we'll see you a bit later with Mark Woodford to talk about that match. Lovely. Thank you very much, Eli. Yeah, Eli needs a little bit more time now to get to where he's going because we've got the crowds in around the stadium. So Eli's off to get himself settled for a little bit later. Danny, we've got our match of the day today. We wondered if it might still be going on when we came on air, but in the end, Rafa Nadal did what Rafa Nadal does here at Roland Garros and came away with the victory over Diego Schwartzman. Yeah, you just had a feeling after the third set that you know, the match is not almost finished, but when Rafa started to be 2-1 up, that Diego mentally and physically didn't have too much left. And at the beginning of the match, it was kind of like we all expected it to be. And I've said before the match that the first set is going to be crucial. But having said that, you know, Diego did everything he could out there. He was taking the ball early, trying to take the time away from Rafa, create some incredible angles, and obviously the movement he's got covering most of the court. But when it comes down to face Rafa in Paris, obviously you have to expect to not only play your best, but even more so. But yeah, the first set was super competitive. Unfortunately, it didn't go for Diego's way, but still, it was super high intensity. Obviously, the conditions today for Rafa, it couldn't be any more perfect because that spin was taking
of the bounce of the court, just like he wants it to be. So, you know, weather-wise, I think when Rafa woke up this morning, he's like, yeah, right, I've got this.
Well, he's going to love the forecast for the rest of the week. Now, this was a repeat from the semi-final from Roland Garros last year, and it's probably not a bad thing. Both of them came into this match. That was a wonderful get from Diego Schwartzman. I mean, the agility and the ability of both men, and the applause from the crowd and the fist pump from Schwartzman. But both came in having not dropped a set, and it's probably not the worst thing in the world that Nadal had this test this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely, especially in that second set, as you can see. I mean, he got tested big time, and this is where, like I've always said, I do recommend to every single tennis fans to see Diego's movement live, because it feels like, you know, he's flying. He's not really running on the court. And Rafa, I wouldn't say he got himself into trouble. It's just Diego picked up his level, just like what we saw in Rome last year when he was able to beat him. But obviously, to do it over 5 sets, it was maybe a little bit too much to ask from him. But you could feel like the crowd was getting behind Diego, because they really wanted to see a proper matchup, and that's what they got. I mean, after the second set, we go like, okay, is this going to be the one that we will be still covering by now, going the distance? But in the second set, it looked like everything was going towards Diego way, but it took so much mentally and physically out of him, that set.
Yeah, as you said, it takes so much to get anything off these top guys, especially on this court against Rafa Nadal. And Diego Schwartzman, remember, came into Roland Garros with no form to really speak of. But he said there is something special for him. He gets a good feeling when he's here at Roland Garros.
Yeah, he was coming here not really expecting much from himself. And I think that helped him to kind of sail through the tournament up to this point. And, you know, this is the stage of the match where we still think, okay, this is actually going to be potentially a long one, but I feel like from this game on, Rafa just shifted his gears to another level. That's what he can do here on Philippe Chatrier. That's why he's won those 13 titles. That's whenever we feel like, okay, this is tight, this is close, suddenly he starts to play out of this planet.
Yeah, that's the danger, isn't it? You take the set and you're delighted to take the set, but then you restart and you go in and you've woken something up in Nadal. But I have got to say, Diego Schwartzman joins a group of players, Djokovic, Federer, Söderling and Isner, to have won more than 1 set against Rafa Nadal at Roland Garros. It is that hard to do it.
Yeah, but it also shows how good Diego is on clay, and that is because of his movement. I mean, the positions both guys were hitting, some of the shots from today, I honestly don't know how they covered the court like that, but like you said, Gigi, Diego's got to be really proud that he was able to take another set away. I think that these days, you know, the guys, when they win a set against Rafa on clay at Roland Garros, it's almost like they win a match against him.
That was win at number 105 at Roland Garros for Rafa Nadal with just the 2 defeats. You can see how delighted Nadal is to have come through what is a tricky test against a very difficult opponent, as Nadal reflected on once the dust and the clay had settled, and he was speaking to the crowd on Philippe Chatrier through to the semi-finals.
I started bad the second set, and then I was able to come back. But then in the game of 4-all, returning with the win helping, I think I played a bad game there, and I know I'm gonna have a tricky situation serving to not lose the set. No? So then he played well. I make a double fault. Well done for him. He's a great player, so should be a very tough match. No? And I needed to play a little bit more aggressive, and I think I did it later, so very happy for that.
It's amazing, isn't it? As we start to wilt as the temperature goes up, he just grows in strength and stamina.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's where, you know, he needs that heat, because the ball bounces higher. And whenever it's fast and dry and the weather like this, I think all Rafa's opponents go like, okay, let's see how I can actually win at least 1 set. I think, like I said before, honestly, winning a set of Rafa here at Roland Garros, it's like you have to go home, you know, feeling good about your game.
Yeah, and Diego Schwartzman has already told us he's looking forward to going home for some barbecue, some time from his dogs and some long walks. First up today on Philippe Chatrier was a 17-year-old in Coco Gauff. So many expectations already on her shoulders, and she was alongside a young lady in Barbora Krejcikova, who made her name on the doubles court, but was very vocal about wanting to see how far she could go as a singles player.
Yeah, it was beautiful actually to see Krejcikova sharing her emotions in the press conference after her last match, saying that before playing Sloane Stephens, she didn't even want to go out there on the court. That's how tight she was. So I was a little bit worried mentally how she was going to approach this one. But maybe, you know, just being free about it, not being afraid to share those emotions and the nerves, it kind of helped her to get through today. At the beginning, she looked overwhelmed. She looked like she was overthinking things. And when you think too much out there, you know, it stops your movement. And so she was not sharp enough. And to her credit, she turned that around. She was able to use that, how smart and intelligent she is, to kind of work it for her, but it took her a few games, and it was incredible to be able to convert, to face all those set points and yet be able to win that first set. And for Coco, you know, also emotionally, I mean, you must not forget she's only 17, and that reaction there, it's understandable. You know, it just shows how much it means to her, but from Coco point, I feel this was a good loss for her, because it's going to hurt her big time. And next time she's in that situation, she will remember how much it hurt, and maybe she will get through it.
Barbora Krejcikova was 114 in the world at the start of Roland Garros last year, which of course was September, October time. She got to the fourth round on that occasion, but it's wonderful to see her fulfilling her potential as a singles player.
Absolutely, especially mentally. I'm sure even Jana Novotná, who was her mentor, would be very, very proud of her, how she managed to hold her nerves and obviously have the biggest win of her career so far.
Straight sets win and through to her first Grand Slam semi-final. The emotion of Barbora Krejcikova, it's just written all over her face. What a tournament, and what is left to come for the Czech player.
It was amazing. It was really amazing. You gave us so much energy today. We were, you know, I feel we were just more pumped, actually. And thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for cheering. It was amazing. I was really happy to playing in front of you guys. And I'm looking forward to see you during my next match. I actually never really imagined that I'm going to be standing here one day and just playing on this court, especially singles. And, you know, just being able to win. It's, you know, already for me, this is something I've never dreamed of.
Next up, we had Maria Sakkari against Iga Swiatek, the defending champion, who was yet to drop a set.
Yeah, you know what, Gigi? I feel like from all the quarterfinals we've seen so far, this was the most solid one from both girls emotionally, because with Rybakina, Pavlyuchenkova, we saw the momentum shifting left and right. Even the first match today, you just can't tell who is going to prevail, but both girls today in this match, Sakkari, Swiatek, they came out with a plan, they came out with a mission, and they didn't really let the emotions affect them so much. And to me, this was incredibly high intense match. Obviously, that's what you're going to get when you watch Maria Sakkari. You know, it's that explosiveness, the power. She's not really a natural talent, so she has to work for things. But to me, it's the back and cross court that she's improved so much, because forehand, she was always going to be dominating and also making a few unforced errors, but it's a natural shot for her. The backhand, it was always a question mark, and she's improved that big time the last couple of weeks, and it's the shot that actually caused most problems to Swiatek. Also tactically, she has a super young coach, but he is brilliant. When you look at her first serve placement, she was almost 80% and more going to Swiatek forehand, so definitely they knew exactly how to play against Iga, and she came out prepared and really executed what she had to do out there.
Yeah, she took her opportunities, didn't she, Maria Sakkari? She has been building towards this. Last year, she got to the fourth round at the Australian Open, third round here, and the fourth round of the US Open. So you feel it's been in the making, it's been building for her.
Yes, and knowing how much effort she puts in her training off the court, you got to be super happy for her, because she deserves every single second of this victory celebration.
Yeah, she certainly does. She was the 17th seed, and she's made it through to her maiden Grand Slam semi-final. Maria Sakkari in straight sets over the defending champion.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you the game plan, of course, because, you know, we will play again for sure. So I'm not gonna say our little secrets, but, you know, I just really enjoyed today. And before coming in the match, I just, you know, sat down by myself and spoke to myself actually, and said that, you know what, yeah, it's it's a very important match, but just enjoy it because this is one of the best stadiums in the world. So I had to enjoy it.
It's incredible that we are going to have a first-time Grand Slam champion here at Roland Garros.
It does happen here quite a bit, especially on the women's side. I think just because, you know, the clay makes the matches so unpredictable, especially when you have players that haven't been in those situations before. Like I said, with women, we do get emotionally, I think, in general, much more than the guys. So you can't really predict what is going to happen. And it's really cool that we're going to have, again, another new Roland Garros champion this year.
Now, something we wanted to highlight, because we talked about it yesterday, was the women's doubles quarterfinal, because it featured Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, who was asked in her press conference, well, how are you going to approach this, playing with the woman that you've just beaten in the singles?
Yeah, it's tricky, especially for Rybakina, who just lost to Pavlyuchenkova. Obviously, was very disappointing, and sometimes it's not easy to put those emotions away and try to like fight for the same thing, you know, within few hours. So still, you know, it went the distance. So great efforts from all the girls, but definitely it must have been so hard for Pavlyuchenkova, more so for Rybakina to kind of forget what happened yesterday in the singles.
Magdalenettes and Bernardo Pera, just their second tournament together, and they are through to the semi-finals. And look at the delight on their faces. A really good run for Pavlyuchenkova and Rybakina, and I'm sure they will be back together again playing. But in terms of the lineup for the semi-finals, I'm quite intrigued because Iga Świątek had some strapping. She took the medical time out in her singles, came out with some strapping on the right thigh, and she's actually due to play in the semi-finals with her partner Bethany Matic-Sands.
Yeah, well, the good thing is that in doubles you don't have to cover so much of the court. Obviously, it is very explosive, but I think they are just having such a blast together with Bethany that she will try anything to be able to make sure that she can play that match, and they've been so much fun to follow. And obviously the crowd, we saw it in their second round match when they faced all those match points. I think like 7 match points, right?
Crazy.
And that's part of the tournament where I've really started to feel the fans, the crowd being involved with the event big time.
And Barbora Krejcikova is still going strong in the doubles. Now, champions here with Siniakova in 2018, if she were to win the doubles, leaving the singles to one side, she would go back to being world #1 in doubles.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is the time of her career, both in singles and doubles. And a great example of what we've talked about throughout the week, how important it is, I think, for the players to play singles and doubles, because it can only do good for you. You have to be careful, though, that you don't spend too much energy. So scheduling-wise, maybe the big tournaments when you are getting older, but when you are young, you have so much energy, like in Iga's case, that it can only do good for her game in singles as well.
We're going to confirm for you at the end of the show the order of play for tomorrow, which is the women's semi-finals day, actually starting at midday with the mixed doubles final. But I don't know if you can hear the music behind us. We're really enjoying it, sort of wafting up to our studio. It's a big day and it's going to be a big night because it's the final night session and it's the first one with a crowd. Not only is it a night session match, it's a night session with 5,000 people. Novak Djokovic against Matteo Berrettini.
Very special moment in Roland Garros history, I think, in general, to have a night session with 5,000 spectators is going to be unbelievable. And having #1 in the world in it against a very informed player, Matteo, another Italian that Novak has to face, it just doesn't get any better than this. Weather like this, music, I mean, to me personally, I don't know about you, Gigi, but there is no other place in the world I would literally rather be.
It's really lovely, the music, the fans and the weather just making it. This evening for the night session, it does start, as Eli mentioned, an hour early at 8 o'clock local time. Now, we're going to be hearing from him shortly, the coach Marian Vida, but you spoke to him yesterday. What feeling did you get from him as to how he feels Djokovic is playing this tournament?
Gigi, I was so surprised at how not surprised, but he is so confident about Novak's game. To me, hearing Marian say that after Novak lost the first 2 sets against Lorenzo Musetti, he felt so comfortable and so confident because he just knew that physically he's going to be, on top of Lorenzo any minute. And surely enough, within 20 minutes, Lorenzo kind of started to drop the level, and that's where Novak just ruled all over him. And that's where, these guys, we saw it with Rafa today, when they need to, they step it up to a level of game that I don't even know where they find. And this is why they are so special. And Marian was really super comfortable, super confident. He's not normally like that, because sometimes with Novak, you don't know what to get. But so far in this tournament, I like that calmness Novak has on the court. You could see it, 2 sets to love down, didn't see any signs of panic. So I think good things are coming for Novak tonight as well.
From reaching the semi-final at the US Open in 2019, which propelled Matteo Berrettini up the rankings, he got into the top 10. He seems to be securing himself within that top 10. He's won a title this year in Belgrade. He got to his first Masters final in Madrid. But what does he have to do to get the better of Djokovic?
Just experience. He needs to be in these situations more often. The good thing is for him that since the 2019 semifinals in New York, he's created opportunities. So I think Novak cannot expect the same kind of matchup against the other Italian, Lorenzo, because Matteo knows what it takes to beat these top guys, and he's got a big game. I mean, that serve and the way he hits the forehand, to me, one of the most important and most improved strokes for Matteo is that slice backhand, something we haven't seen before, but ever since Madrid, he started to use it so much more, and now, it's a big weapon for him. So it's something that Novak's got to watch out for, and I think he's ready for tonight. So definitely it's not going to be as easy as the last 3 sets against Lorenzo Musetti for Novak. And like I said, this is going to be a battle, and that's what you want night session with the fans.
Matteo Berrettini is facing a world #1 for the very first time. He's into the quarterfinals after a walkover when Roger Federer had to withdraw. But how is Novak Djokovic feeling ahead of his match with the Italian?
Well, I mean, I'm preparing myself for a battle. It's a quarterfinals against a top 10 player, and I think we never played each other on clay, so it's going to be an interesting match. He's in real good form, but I've been hitting the ball as well, pretty good. So with the crowd, first time in the night session will be definitely a nice atmosphere. So I'm looking forward to it.
That was a little bit earlier after training, and Djokovic has won 6 of his last 7 matches against top 10 players. The last defeat was here to Rafa Nadal in the final of Roland Garros. Now, we touched on Novak Djokovic's coach, Marian Vida, who Danny had the pleasure to sit down with to talk about his preparation yesterday.
Is that maybe also in the approach you guys took this year and made the preparation differently playing in Belgrade? Where did that idea come from? And it seems like it's been very beneficial for you guys.
I mean, obviously, you know how it is on clay to have lots of matches to get your game together. And Novak at the beginning of clay season didn't get his game, clay game, let's say, and he need to have a good movements and everything. So he lost a couple matches at the beginning of clay court season, and then he went without basically matches and results. He would have go without result and matches to Paris, so he took the opportunity to have a play tournament and in Belgrade and win it, and that it gives you boost in front of the home crowd, and gives you a lot of energy to come before before French Open, to be ready and to have a trophy.
That winning feeling, I guess.
Exactly, winning feeling, exactly.
Marian Vida, the coach of Novak Djokovic, we cannot wait for this evening. And with all the buzz and the spectators and the band and the players getting ready, we thought it was only right that today's question of the day focused on the night session. Is it the one memorable moment in history of Roland Garros, the fact that we have these night sessions, the fact we have this crowd, the fact that it feels so different?
Oh, absolutely, Gigi. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better day. in tennis history. I think as a players, we all wanted this to happen, and finally it has arrived. And yeah, I can't wait. I'm counting minutes when finally the night session begins with the fans.
Because it is very different and it is very special because, yes, we've been here till midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning watching matches, but this is an official session where the crowd are coming in to watch this match. They are here for this encounter with Novak Djokovic and Matteo Berrettini.
Yeah, like I said, the setup couldn't be any better. You've got #1 in the world, and I think also that 8 p.m. starts, it's easier on the players because 9 can be sometimes a little bit too late for the recovery afterwards, whoever gets through. And yeah, I mean, what else to add? Let's the fun begin, and it's been such an exciting day, and you can almost feel like the vibe, the energy building up for that night session. It's been happening throughout the entire day already.
So how do you think the fans will have voted on this? Do you think they will agree with us that this is a very special moment in the history of the tournament?
I think this is a no-brainer, and it's got to be 100% yes.
100%?
100%, 100%.
Wow, okay. It's not quite 100%, but it is 64% yes. Is that okay?
No, it's not. Where is that no coming from?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Who were we asking?
I don't
Tennis
know.
fans, really?
Well, I think so. Okay.
Maybe is there a soccer match going on and we ask?
Well, there's a
wrong
big
people?
tournament starting very soon, so possibly a few soccer fans crept in. Sticking with the night session, sticking with crowds, sticking with how special things are, not just for the fans, but also for the players. It's time for Eye of Daniela. So this is more one for the players who may be keeping an eye on the fans?
Yeah, we always talk from the players' perspective how cool it is to have the fans back, how much we've missed them. But what does it really mean in players' life? Well, maybe it surprises some people how much we are aware of who is actually watching. It's not really the number of people, whether it's 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, but it's more, especially in the big tournaments where celebrities like to come and watch. We do like to take a notice of that. And sometimes it can be actually working either for you or against me. I remember personally when I found that Matthew Perry, Chandler from Friends, was watching my finals of Indian Wells, suddenly I forgot my tactic, what I had to do out there. I was texting my brother like, I can't believe Chandler is here going to watch my match. So it can motivate you big time. Marion Bartoli said the same thing with James Bond, Pierce Brosnan, watching her from the Royal Box at Wimbledon. So there are special moments that it can motivate you, but also it can go against you because you can get so tight. So it's not about the number of people, but actually the people that are watching. And having said that, you know, like players do know who is in town.
Do you know that?
Absolutely.
We think that you're so in your zone, you're so in your bubble that you're not even aware that we're there.
Yeah, well, you would think, but then in the locker room, you know, the gossip goes around quickly. I have a story for you. A couple of years ago, Leonardo DiCaprio arrives to the side of Roland Garros.
Oh, there he is.
Obviously, all the girls in the locker room, we know right away. Some player came and literally screamed like, "You can't believe Leo is here!" So all of us, whoever didn't have a match, we kind of sprinted to the players' area where we can watch the center court from, and it was so funny because that way Roger Federer was playing, and all of us, we were facing literally this way where Leo was sitting, and we just couldn't care less, with all our respect to Roger, because we just kept staring at him. So yes, we do get emotional, we do get excited as players who is watching our matches.
So would you rather know in advance so you can prepare yourself that Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be there, or would you rather be out on court, suddenly look up and see him?
No, you need to be prepared, especially when it's someone good looking, because you know, we are emotional. Maybe the guys are different, but with the girls, at least in my case, I would have always liked to know ahead of time, yes.
Okay, this is an interesting round. Now, this is a question we put to someone, well, she's a very busy lady. She continues to be a very busy lady at these championships. She's through to the semi-finals in both the singles and the doubles. It's Barbora Krejcikova.
Oh, it doesn't affect me. I'm actually happy because I think it's really nice if other athletes, they come and they support and they want to see the match and they want to get entertained. So I think it's very nice. I would do the same if I was somewhere else. So it would be special for me.
Now, I believe we're going to head to join Eli, who's alongside Mark Woodford. And Eli, ask Woody about the time the cast of his favourite musical came to watch him at Wimbledon. I think that's right.
Hi, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. The cast of his favorite musical at Wimbledon? That's I'm supposed to ask you. Are you in on this?
Oh, Gigi knows the answer. That's why.
I guess, yeah. She's trying to
Express.
Starlight Express, Gigi.
Yeah, that's it. But ask Woody how it felt to have them there, because he's a big fan of Starlight Express.
How did it feel to have them there when you were there? She's asking you because she knows you're a big fan, and there was a whole. Danielle was talking today about playing and having stars watching you, and whether it makes a difference or not.
Well, that's very good that Gigi thinks that, well, it is assuming that the cast are from West End are superstars, and it was pretty neat to have a couple of those characters come and watch and follow. But, you know, I was following them because whenever I was in London, I'd kind of go to and watch the theatre. I mean, I saw it like 25 times.
Come on, it's time to demo a little bit of Starlight Express.
Yeah,
you must confess.
I was hoping that she wasn't going to say.
I'm saying it. That's for me. No, you're not going to go there? Okay, no. We tried. All right, let's talk tennis. Yeah, right. Can you demo on that? Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of. It's been
Gigi,
a while.
You got him to blush. Come on. Okay, tonight, it's going to happen. Finally, the night session with the fans. I mean, it's going to be a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Novak Djokovic, Matteo Berrettini.
Oh, I walked in the grounds probably half an hour, 45 minutes ago, and I noticed the electricity immediately. So today is the first day that everything has reopened, you know, so 5,000 in. I think, you know, for Djokovic, he'll probably, you know, rejoice that there is some crowd because it's been a stark difference in the evening sessions. But look, we knew that was going to happen when there was no crowds. I don't think it's going to affect anyone adversely. In fact, I think it might, you know, for Novak, I think that he's accustomed to playing in front of these big crowds on a centre court such as this. This is what he's playing for.
He played here earlier in the tournament with nobody. So he's going to have a feel of both atmospheres. I'm sure he's going to enjoy this one more. Matteo Berrettini was supposed to play Roger Federer. We know that didn't happen. He got extra time to rest. Now, is that a pro or a con? Because some people say you lose rhythm, and some people say you gain time to rest and energy to play the number one in the world.
Well, I think it's an incredible bonus for Matteo Berrettini, and this is an opportunity for him to make full use of it. I think it's equating to something like 3 hours less of court time compared to Novak Djokovic, and that's what he needs. He needs to be physically ready for the demands that Djokovic is going to place on him. If you remember 12 months ago, Berrettini played pretty badly against Altmaier, I think it was, in the fourth round.
8 months.
But this is a chance to erase all of those memories from that really poor loss. And look, I believe inside his camp, they think that he's got a great chance. He's got multiple weapons that I think Djokovic is more than aware of, and probably hope that it's not working. But that serve, if that's operating at full capacity, he's physically daunting. He's a beast on the court. The forehand's working. We know he's a great athlete around the court. Yes, then he has a chance. But he has to be having those strengths working at an optimum.
He was practicing here a few minutes ago. So is it going to be a long haul? Are you and Gigi going to take a late walk home because both of you are commentating the match? Or could Novak run away with a 2-hour, 3-set winner?
We did have colleagues walking home with us last night.
No, I was
we were talking.
It was just the two of you.
But yeah. Gigi, what time do you think that we'll be walking home tonight?
This
before
evening?
Midnight?
Yes. I think it's going to be just before midnight.
Just before midnight.
Yes.
Okay, looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this match. I'm going to go with Djokovic in 3 sets, but I'm picking 2 of them to be awfully tight. And maybe if he's up 2 sets to love, then we might see Berrettini just kind of struggle a little bit. But I think this is going to be, you know, key first 2 sets.
7-6, 7-6, 6-3.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Oh,
do we really need to watch the game? There you go. We have the answer. It's going to happen here in a few minutes. People are coming in slowly. There are going to be 5,000 people in here, which is a third of the stadium. The first and last night session with people this year, but it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be very exciting.
Gentlemen, thank you. We are looking forward to this evening's match. So Eli alongside Mark Woodford. 25 times he's seen Starlight Express. Are you a fan of musicals, the theatre?
I am a big fan of theatres and musicals, but I don't think I've ever seen it once. So well done there, Mark.
25 times. Right, we have an order of play for tomorrow. We are well and truly at the business end of this competition. The match is taking place on Philippe Chatrier. We start with the mixed doubles final. Joe Salisbury and Desiree Krejcikova again. Elena Vesnina, her first Grand Slam final since the birth of her daughter, against Aslan Karatsev, the star of this year. And then we have the women's singles semi-finals. What an experience for all 4 players.
Oh, incredible. And it will be interesting for Krejcikova and Sakkari how they are able to recover from today, because obviously they only played 2 sets, but mentally it took so much out of them. And this is where, looking at all the 4 girls, I feel like Maria Sakkari, physically, she's on another level. And Roland Garros being the most physical Grand Slam out of them all, I just feel like she's got a little bit extra edge over everyone else there.
Are we talking for the whole thing? Because your pick, Iga Świątek, has gone out. Would you like a new pick from the Final Four? Is that your pick?
Well, if you're giving me a second chance,
I'm
then,
giving you a second chance.
Yes, because she beat Iga Świątek, I think I'm going with her. Also talking to Marcos Baghdadis, you know, he knows the Greek players really well. Yes, just because of the reason I've said, fitness-wise, she's ready to go the distance.
Danny, it's been a pleasure. Enjoy the evening and enjoy the night session with 5,000 people.
You too, Gigi. Can't wait.
Thank you so much for your company. You can keep an eye on tonight's night session through the website, the app, and Radio Roland Garros will have commentary from first ball to last. And Danny and I will be back in position tomorrow night from 7 o'clock, rounding up the day's action where we will have our women's final set. Until then, bye for now.